Trump's sweeping executive order threatens to disenfranchise millions of American voters. Donald Trump's latest executive order, a sweeping measure targeting immigration and voter registration, threatens to fundamentally alter the American electoral landscape and disenfranchise millions of citizens. This action represents a dramatic escalation in his ongoing efforts to reshape democratic participation, echoing his previous attempts to manipulate census data for partisan gain. The order introduces profoundly restrictive measures, potentially rendering millions ineligible to vote, a move that legal experts and voting rights advocates vehemently condemn as a blatant attack on the fundamental right to suffrage. The order directly mirrors the controversial Save American Voter Eligibility Act, currently stalled in Congress. This bill, championed by Republicans for years, mandates in-person proof of citizenship for voter registration. This seemingly simple requirement would have devastating consequences, effectively eliminating convenient mail-in and online registration systems currently utilized by 42 states. Along with Washington, D.C., and Guam, millions of Americans who rely on these accessible methods would be instantly barred from participating in the democratic process. The practicality of such a requirement is severely questionable. According to the U.S. State Department's 2023 data, less than half of all Americans possess a valid passport. This immediately creates a significant hurdle for a substantial portion of the population. Furthermore, a Center for American Progress analysis reveals that approximately 69 million women who have legally changed their names due to marriage or other circumstances would face immense difficulty in producing matching identification documents required under the new regulations. The logistical nightmare this creates is undeniable. The impact extends beyond passport holders and name changes. The Center for Democracy and Civic Engagement's 2024 report highlights a staggering reality. Roughly 21 million voting-age Americans, approximately 9% of the population, lack a current, valid photo ID. This executive order would effectively silence the voices of these millions of citizens, disproportionately affecting low-income communities and marginalized groups who often lack access to the necessary documentation. This is not about preventing voter fraud, as Trump repeatedly claims. Federal laws already strictly prohibit non-citizen voting, with penalties including up to 5 years imprisonment. Current voter registration systems utilize multiple federal databases, including data from the Department of Homeland Security, to meticulously verify citizenship. The existing safeguards, therefore, render Trump's justification baseless and disingenuous. His claims of widespread election fraud have been consistently debunked by numerous independent investigations and election officials. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, responsible for overseeing election security, directly contradicted Trump's assertions. A day after the 2024 elections, CISA Director Jen Easterly declared that our election infrastructure has never been more secure, and the election community never better prepared to deliver safe, secure, free, and fair elections for the American people. This statement underscores the absurdity of Trump's claims and the unnecessary, obstructive nature of his executive order. Trump's framing of this executive order as a critical step to straighten out our election is nothing short of Orwellian doublespeak. His description of the nation as sick from fake elections is a thinly veiled attempt to justify the suppression of votes and the undermining of democratic institutions. This is not about fixing a broken system. It is about dismantling it to serve his own political agenda. The order represents a clear continuation of Trump's long-standing pattern of attacking democratic participation. His 2020 attempt to exclude non-citizens from census population counts, used to determine congressional districts, provides a stark precedent for this latest action. This consistent pattern of behavior reveals a deliberate strategy to restrict access to the ballot box and manipulate the electoral process for partisan advantage. This executive order is not simply a policy change. It is a fundamental assault on the very fabric of American democracy. The potential consequences are far-reaching and deeply alarming. It risks disenfranchising millions of eligible voters, tilting the scales of power and silencing the voices of those already marginalized within society. This blatant attempt to restrict voting rights must be met with the strongest possible opposition from all who cherish the principles of a fair and equitable democratic system. The fight to protect the right to vote, a cornerstone of American liberty, is far from over. The implications of this executive order extend far beyond the immediate impact on voter registration. It represents a dangerous precedent that could fundamentally reshape the future of American elections and the very essence of democratic participation. The fight to preserve the integrity of the electoral process and ensure equal access to the ballot box for all eligible citizens is now more critical than ever. The long-term consequences of this executive order could have profound and lasting effects on American society, potentially ushering in an era of significantly reduced civic engagement and a diminished democratic process.